How's it going, everyone? DoomBandit here, and welcome to the second episode of Hearthstats, Heroes of RNG. This episode we'll actually be talking about Faceless Summoner, the 6-mana 5/5 mage minion with Battlecry Summon a random 3-cost minion. Now, this breakdown will be a little bit different from our first episode because I have an arena breakdown and a standard breakdown. Because this card, the card text is pretty simple, however, it sees a lot of play in arena and almost none in standard at all. So we're going to try and see if we can look at the statistics and come to a reason why this sees a lot more arena play than it does in constructed. So first things first, we have to look at the number of 3-cost minions in arena. Now, there are actually 106 3-cost minions that Faceless Summoner could summon. So that means that the chances of getting a specific minion are less than 1%. So if you have your hopes to get that Flame Waker, you're probably not going to get it. This isn't a very reliable card to summon a very specific minion. However, looking at the stats of minions, you do have a very good chance of getting a minion that has 2 attack and 4 health, 3 attack and 3 health, or just strictly better stats than that. You have about a 48% chance, so about half of the minions you get are going to be at least 3 3s or 2 4s. However, at the same time, you are very likely to get a 2 3 or worse also at about 24%. Along with that, we have to look at the effects of certain cards, because even though some might have higher stats, they might not exactly give you good benefits. So, to look at the percent of beneficial effects, we have to look at cards that have effects like Inspire, that have effects like Death Rattle, that will summon other things even. And when I found all the data, we compiled it and found that 44% of minions that Faceless Summoner can give you have beneficial effects in some way. However, at the same time, the percent of questionable effects is around 8%, meaning that it will give you a minion that might have some sort of drawback, kind of like Deathlord, where when it dies, it'll summon an opponent's minion from their deck. And looking at some other mechanics, the chance of getting Taunt, you'll have about a 9% chance to get a minion that has Taunt, only a 3% chance to get a minion that has Charge, and overall a 6% chance to get a minion that has Death Rattle. Now, I took a rough estimate. I'm probably going to end up rerunning these numbers and updating this video in some way. However, right now, the average total stat line I found for this minion, doing the attack and health separately, is about 7.5 and 8.2. Now, to compare, let's actually look at the standard breakdown. We actually have even less minions in the standard since the sets have rotated out, where there are only 86 minions that Faceless Summoner can put onto the battlefield. So that makes the chance of getting a specific minion a little higher, but it's still essentially 1%. Along with that, we have essentially the same statistic as Arena, Arena being 48%, Standard having a 47% chance to get a 2-4, 3-3 or better. And it's around the same even for getting a 2-3 or worse. You still have only a quarter chance to get that. Percent of beneficial effects goes down slightly to 42. Percent of questionable effects also goes down a little bit to 6%. Chance of getting Taunt is only 7. Chance of getting Charge is less at 2%. The chance of getting a Death Rattle drops by half, a little bit more than half, and is at 3%. And the stat lines really don't change either. You still have about 7.5 attack and 8.1 health. So, if there isn't that much of a difference between what you get in Arena and what you get in Standard, then why is it played so much more in Arena? And I think that we can look at this from a pretty simple answer, in that Arena cares about the stat lines. And not only that, but Faceless Summoner gives you a stat line of a 7.6, and an 8.1 in 2 separate bodies. So single target removal, which is pretty common in Arena, drafted very highly, won't take care of all Faceless Summoner. They need to waste an AoE effect, or have 2 different resources to take care of this one card. So the 2 bodies really help Faceless Summoner thrive in Arena, whereas in Constructed, you care more about the cards not because of their stat line, but because of their synergy with your deck and their power. Like, if Faceless Summoner was 6 mana 5/5, summon a Flamewaker, this card would be seen in every single mage deck, I think, or at least every single Tempo mage deck. Even if it was a 6 mana 5/5, summon a Wolf Rider, which is a 3/1 with charge, I think this would see a lot of play, just the way that Fire Elemental in the Shaman class sees a lot of play, because that's a very proactive effect, and it's essentially removal and giving you a giant body as well. So I think the fact that its stats are very consistent and it's in 2 bodies is the reason why you see this card much more in Arena, even though the stats from Standard to Arena don't really change that much. So overall, this card is very consistent stat-wise. However, you are going to be getting the 2/2s and so forth. But overall, you're still going to be getting generally around 7 or 8 attack with this minion in total, and around 8 health as well. So overall, you're getting above 6 mana stats in 2 bodies, which is very good for Arena purposes. Now, I wanted to go over a specific situation where it was something that I was kind of thinking about as I was looking at the statistics of this card. So I kind of had this question where, should I hero power before or after I play Faceless Summoner on 8 mana? The reason I thought of this was because one time I got a Coliseum Manager out of Faceless Summoner, and I instinctively already hero powered after playing Faceless Summoner to the opponent's face, and then Coliseum Manager came back to my hand, and I felt like a very, very dumb person. Now, obviously if I had seen it, I wouldn't have done that in the first place, but that got me thinking, should I even hero power first, or should I hero power first because there's a chance that I'll get Coliseum Manager? So to give you a statistic on this, the chance of getting an inspired minion is only 4%. There are actually only 4 cards in Arena that have Inspire. That's Coliseum Manager, Silverhand Regent, Ogrimmar, Aspirant, and Dragonhawk Rider. Now, the chances of you benefiting from the Inspire effect after you get it that turn is only a quarter, because 3/4 of them, Coliseum Manager has a negative effect, so you won't benefit from it at all. The Aspirant, unless you have a weapon, which you're going to be playing Mage if you're playing Faceless Summoner, so you're not really going to have a weapon, doesn't do anything, and gaining Wind Fury when you don't have charge doesn't really matter, now does it? So the only one that really matters is getting Silverhand Regent. So after looking at it more and looking at all the statistics, I came up to the conclusion that you should never hero power before playing Faceless Summoner. And for some of the reasonings, first of all, there's less than a 1% chance to even get Coliseum Manager, so you shouldn't be playing around the 1% chance. And it's also usually not a big deal to miss out on that hero power if you end up getting Coliseum Manager. It's really not that big a deal. The ping target could also change based on Faceless Summoner. If you get a charge minion, and then you can ping a 3 health minion or a 4 health minion if you have either Wolf Rider or the Argent Horse Rider, your hero power target could change. And along with that, there are more targets from Faceless Summoner that benefit from pinging afterwards, such as if your opponent is a Paladin and has a 1/1 on the board. If you get a Flesh-Eating Ghoul, which gains attack when you kill minions, then playing the ping, it increases the stats from a 2/3 to a 3/2. So there are plenty of other examples of ways that pinging afterwards really helps. So basically, there's absolutely no reason to ping first, outside of a very, very specific situation, which I don't want to get into right now. But either way, Faceless Summoner, in the end, looking at the stats, great stat line, consistent stats with its effect, but not synergistic and not powerful enough for constructed purposes. Again, if this said summon like these 3 specific minions, such as like Argent Horse Rider or Flame Waker or something like that, this card could very well see a lot of constructed play. But because the only thing that's consistent about it is a stat line, this card is more than likely not going to see too much play outside of Arena and in free-to-play decks like one of the ones that I have. So let me know what you think in the comment section below about Faceless Summoner. Let me know what other cards you would like to see Hearthstats dissect. I know that this one was a little bit more remedial, where it was kind of just, okay, well, here are the cards that you can get from it. But at the same time, looking at the fact that Standard and Arena didn't really differ that much, and seeing how much differ they play really tells us a lot about the mechanics of the game. So I'm really glad that I was able to look at this card in depth. So thank you to Marty, who was the one who recommended that I do this card. And if you want, there's a poll on HearthAmino right now that will be up for another 3 days, where you can vote on the next card that we will do. So make sure you go on HearthAmino, check me out on there. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.